How did your dog prove your parents were wrong? When I was 14 years old, I had spent months begging my parents to let me have a service dog. My anxiety had become so intense that I couldn't even walk into school without starting to hyperventilate in the parking lot. My therapist told them it would help me, but they kept saying no. My dad always said dogs were too much work and too expensive. My mom claimed I was just exaggerating my anxiety to avoid going to school. At dinner, my dad would joke, if you're too anxious to go to school, how are you going to walk a dog every day? So when my cousin Jake called and told me that a friend of his could no longer keep his mixed-breed Labrador, Scout, I said yes without asking permission. Scout was already trained as an emotional support dog. I met Jake at the park that Tuesday and walked home with that golden dog who started following me as if we'd known each other our whole lives. My parents lost their minds when I walked through the door. My mom started yelling about responsibility and vet bills. My dad paced back and forth saying I couldn't just bring random animals into the house. They were so upset they barely spoke to me during dinner, but then my dad came up with an idea. He said I could keep Scout for exactly 1 week to prove that I couldn't handle it. He even pulled out a little blue notebook and started writing down everything the dog did wrong. Day 1. He wrote that I forgot to fill the water bowl. Day 2. He noted that Scout had tracked mud onto the carpet. But something strange started to happen. The first night, I didn't have my usual 3 a.m. panic attack. When I began to feel that pressure in my chest around midnight, Scout climbed onto my bed and rested his head right on my chest. His weight was warm and steady, and somehow my breathing calmed down. Day 3 was when everything became real. I had math tutoring with Mr. Peterson, which usually ended with me crying out of fear of making mistakes. This time, I brought Scout. Every time my breathing sped up, Scout gently touched my arm with his paw. He sensed my anxiety before I did. That day, I solved 3 problems without crying. On day 4, the school counselor watched as Scout gently nudged me whenever I started to get restless in her office. That night, she called my parents and said, "Your daughter is a different person with this dog. This isn't an excuse. It's a bridge that allows her to function." My dad tried to stay firm with his notebook, but the complaints kept getting smaller. Then on day 6, something happened that no one expected. My dad, stressed from work, had his own panic attack at 2 a.m. I watched Scout get off my bed, walk into my parents' room, and rest his head on my dad's chest, just like he did with me. My dad didn't push him away, he simply placed his hand on him, and his breathing slowed. The next day, I found Scout's bowls put away in the living room cabinet and his toys in a little basket. When I asked what it meant, my dad just shrugged and said, "I guess he's staying."